Hello everyone, Tavi Jinariu here from EliteGuitarist.com. Welcome to this new tutorial. Today's tutorial is a collaboration between EliteGuitarist.com and Guitar Salon International in Santa Monica. First of all, I would like to extend a word of thanks to our friends at GSI, Guitar Salon International, for allowing me to use a wonderful guitar for today's tutorial. I think it is a perfect guitar for this piece, for Tango and Skai. It is a 2010 Jose Luis Gil, a spruce top, and I think this is a Brazilian or a CSA rosewood. A gorgeous guitar with a great response and volume, and I'm pushing the guitar hard and it does not disintegrate. The sound is just very robust, and I did not feel held back by this guitar in any way, and today is the first time I'm playing it. So again, thanks to our friends at Guitar Salon International for their partnership, both by providing this guitar and partnership of vision. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And today's tutorial is for Tango and Skai by Roland Diens. This is perhaps one of the most recognizable pieces in the classical guitar repertoire. I had the chance and the great privilege to actually play for Roland Diens a couple of years ago, about a year before his passing, as he was touring and traveling through Southern California. And I have some of my fondest memories in terms of guitar experience just by spending a little bit of time with him and getting a little glimpse into his mind as a composer, a performer, and I think in a very general way being just blessed by his gentle spirit. When he passed away, the guitar community, and not only the guitar community but the music world at large, experienced a tremendous loss. I remember playing for him, and he came wearing a pink sweatshirt to the masterclass, and after all these years, I'm thinking nobody can rock a pink shirt like Roland Diens used to. So it's a great honor for me to play this piece, and I hope that by promoting this tutorial and passing it on to you, his memory as a composer and as a human being will continue to live on through his music. So this is Tango and Skai. It's an interesting name. Tango is the Argentinian musical form, and then the word Skai he translated as fake or counterfeit leather. It's something that's spurious, that's not genuine, but it's flashy and shiny, and so I think the piece really lives up to its name. The piece has a lot of ostentatious runs and a lot of flamboyant techniques. I think Roland Diens concentrated virtually every guitar technique into this one piece. It is part of the advanced repertoire level. The piece is fairly short and it's somewhat repetitive, but because of the difficulty involved in performing this piece at a regular tempo, I put it in the advanced repertoire section. Without any further delay, let's get straight to work and start with the first segment of this tutorial. If you're watching this video on any of our social media platforms, head over to EliteGuitarist.com and check out the rest of the tutorial. The first section includes bars 1 through 6. And as I said before, Roland Diens seems to have included every technique known to guitarists in this one piece. Bars 1 and 2 begin with a series of harmonics. These harmonics are natural harmonics played at the 12th fret, and it's an alternation of the A and E note. That's the 5th and the 6th string. In the sheet music, you could play those with the 4th finger, or I prefer to use my 3rd finger. It seems to be just a little bit more steady, a little bit more secure. So the alternation of these harmonics begin like this. To play this a little bit more slowly, I think we need to have some sort of a metronome sound. So I'm going to tap my foot so that you get a very clear sense of how the pulse of the song goes and where the harmonics fit in terms of that pulse, in terms of that beat. So if this is our tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now I'm tapping the 8th note, and I think as you practice this piece, rather than having the quarter notes serve as your metronome beat, try to have the 8th note be your metronomic beat. I think it will give you a clear sense of the pulse. So these are the 8 notes: 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then the piece begins. If you look at the phrasing for the first 2 bars, you have this crescendo towards the end of the first bar and the beginning of bar number 2, and then a decrescendo. The way you could make that crescendo is by starting the piece with a dolce sound and then moving towards a ponticello. The ponticello will give you a little bit more tension on the string, and so you could dig in a little bit harder with your thumb on that string. So let's try that again. Bars 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and. Okay, so those were bars number 1 and 2. The last note of bar number 2 is no longer a harmonic, but it's an actual natural 6 open string. And that is the clue that we're going to move into the melody proper of the piece. So let's begin with the piece at bar number 3. The first chord is an A minor, and that A minor is a suspension. It's a 6-5 suspension from F to E. So I'm playing A, C, and E. A with the 3rd finger, C with the 1st finger, and then open 1st string. I'm grabbing the full A minor chord because I'm just used to grabbing a full A minor chord. And I'm playing that F natural with a partial bar chord. So A, C, F, followed by E, A, C, and then A, C, E, followed by E, A, C. So it's really an A minor chord, but we're plucking the first 3 strings first, followed by the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, played simultaneously. Again, back to the first 3 strings with the right hand, and then the strings number 2, 3, and 4, played simultaneously. And notice that for the first grouping of notes, I'm using I, M, A. For the second grouping of notes, for the second chord, which is that A minor chord, I'm using P, I, M. So, bar number 3. And then we have this chromatic run, starting with beat number 3 of bar 3. And it is open E, F natural, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then open A. Now there are multiple ways in which you could play this one. You could play it as a slide, where you play the open string, do a slide hammer-on F, a glissando from F to G sharp, and then articulate open 5th string. I kind of like actually articulating each note with a hammer-on. I think it creates more of an Argentinian tango. And even though it is a little bit slower than a full glissando, I think it adds more of an authentic feel to it. And I may need to start that run a little bit before the beat, a little bit earlier, in order to land right on the beat with the A. So here is our 8th note again. So that A note on the 5th string has to fall right on the beat. Let's try it again. Okay, After I land on that A open string, we have in the melody a set of triplets, but it's combined with an eighth note in the secondary voice, in the bottom voice. So the top voice goes like this. But now I also have to include an eighth note on the bottom voice. So let's try it again. Bar number 3. Okay, so the last beat of bar number 3 is a G note. It's still the same A minor chord played with the second, third, and first fingers, but the G note is played with the fourth finger. So A with G on the top, then a G flat, and the G flat is played with the fourth finger on the first string, second fret. So low E on the fourth string played with the second finger, and back to A, C, F is that A minor suspended chord suspension 6 to 5. What do I mean by suspension 6 to 5? The chord is unresolved, and we're adding the sixth step of the scale, which in A minor is A, B, C, D, E, F, and then the resolution to 5 would be a resolution to E, which is part of the natural A minor chord. All right, so let's take bar number 3 again. Bar number 4 now. We have, this is a B minor with a flat 5 if you like jazz harmonies, with a passing tone there on the third step. So bar number 4 we have B, A, C sharp, F natural. The B is played with the second finger, third finger for the A, fourth finger for the C sharp, and F natural with finger number 1 on the first string. So, and then I'm going to resolve that C sharp to a D natural with the fourth finger by moving the fourth finger from the second fret to the third fret. So, okay, in context, last beat of bar number 3 and beginning of bar number 4 goes like this. So, back to C sharp up, and then an accent, and that accent is for A, open B, open E. So bar number 4 again. And notice that that accent is not right on the beat, but it's syncopated. So if you were to listen to your eighth note metronome beat, okay, once again. Okay. Bar number 4 now, once again. After we play that accent, A, B, E, I'm going to follow with a low open 6th string, then D and A, and the A remains planted from the previous chord. And then I'm going to resolve that to an E7. So this is an E7 suspended. The A is a suspension 4 to 3, which means from the fourth step of the E scale to the third step, which is a G sharp. A to E. Bar number 4 again. And then a filler chord, so E, D, G sharp, played open 4th, open 6th, and G sharp played with the first finger on the third string. And then doubling up with B, D, G sharp, B, The B is played with the second finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, open 4th string, G sharp with the first finger on the 3rd string, and then open 2nd string. So, and then again we have a chromatic run to a G, and that chromatic run comes from open E, F sharp, F natural, F sharp, and then G. Here, rather than doing something like glissando, it's clearly spelled out that we need to articulate those with hammer-ons. You could use different fingerings for this one. You could use open, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. I think it lends itself most naturally to play the open E, F natural with 1, F sharp with 2, and then G with 4. And we need that G because that's going to be the beginning note of bar number 5, and that G note is supposed to last for a full 2 beats of number 5. So as you practice this, practice slowly. The last thing we want is uneven volume on those notes. So we want all of those to sound evenly and equally. You should be able to hear a little bit of that wood percussiveness as you hit the string with a hammer-on. It's not simply touching the string, but actually striking the string with a little bit of velocity and force. Bar number 5. Let's review actually bar number 4. Okay, bar number 5 begins with that G. That G note is accompanied by a set of triads. These notes are E natural, B flat, and D natural. E natural played with the first finger on the 4th string, B flat with the 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, and D natural with the 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, while the G is being pressed. And notice that I'm playing the accompaniment staccato. This is to mimic the usage of other accompaniment instruments in a tango formation, in a tango band. And the way I make those notes or those triads, those chords staccato, is by plucking them and then replanting my fingers on the same strings immediately with the right hand. So it may take you a little while until you get used to the exact position of those notes. As you play those staccatos, try not to go too far out or away from the guitar, because they will just cause you not to be able to land back on those strings in a timely manner. So G, and then we have a monumental run. It is a diminished chord, and it goes something like this. All right, we're gonna have to break this one down fairly slowly. There is a pickup note, so that the A note, the 5th string, comes right on the beat. So 8th note metronome beat. And I'm playing that E, the pickup to that run, with the thumb, and then back to A. Now what I don't want to do is allow that E and A to ring out at the same time. That doesn't sound quite right. So I want to stop that E from ringing throughout that diminished chord arpeggio run. And one way to do that is to come back and mute the A with the thumb after playing it. Or a more effective way is to play the E and then plant the thumbnail on the A string and use the back of your thumb to mute the initial note E. So let's try this again. You may just want to practice that beginning of the phrase. Let's take that phrase now. The first three notes are legatos, which means that I'm only articulating the beginning A, and this is the way I finger this piece and the way I think works best for my hands and the way I play the piece. So A, B flat, hammer on with finger number 1 on the 5th string, 1st fret, C sharp, played with the 4th finger on the 5th string, then E, played with the 1st finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and all those 4 notes, the beginning 4 notes of the run, are played with the thumb. Then I'm playing an open G string, 3rd string, followed by a B flat, hammer on with the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. Then followed by a C sharp, played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, and then E, played with a A finger on the right hand. We're going to focus on the right hand in just a minute, but for now let's just get the left hand. Hammer on, C sharp, E, and this is virtually a diminished chord. You may have heard that in flamenco music. It's a beautiful chord. I think it's moody and it's got character. And rather than grabbing this chord from the beginning, it's better to just walk it. And allow these notes to actually combine with one another to create this beautiful fabric of sounds. And then the next part of the run and then I'm going to follow with A, B flat, C sharp, E. The A is played with the thumb again on the 3rd string, and I'm using my 1st finger on the 2nd fret. Hammer on to B flat, played with the 2nd finger on the 3rd string. C sharp, played on the 2nd string with the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, and open high E note. So the first part of the run again. Now the last part is G natural, played with the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, the 12th fret. This is the octave. So, and as you make that shift, take advantage of the open high E note, which is the open string. That ring will resound, and while that note is ringing out, you could make the shift to the 12th fret there on the G. G note on the 3rd string, then B flat, played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 11th fret, C sharp, played with the 1st finger on the 1st string, 9th fret, and then high E note, played with the 1st finger on the 1st string, 12th fret. So, all right, we're gonna try this entire run now. And I'm holding these 3 fingers to form that beautiful fabric of individual notes that combine into a chord. Okay, now it's really important to have a standardized way of playing this arpeggio with the right hand. And I think whatever fingering you use, you should settle on one and practice that slowly. Try not to change it once you settle into something that works well for your hand mechanics, because under a situation of stress or the performance anxiety, If you try to make shifts like that, especially with fast passages, it's pretty sure that you're going to fall on your noses and fumble the whole run. So whatever fingering you decide on, practice it slowly and be consistent. I would suggest even perhaps writing the right hand fingering on top of each note of this very long run, arpeggio type run. So this is the fingering that I'm using, and it works very well. And what I'm doing, I am relying on an alternation of hammer-ons to give me a break on my right hand, and then a natural roll, arpeggio roll with my right hand that follows the pattern P-I-M-A, P-I-M-A. So if I use that's a very natural arpeggio roll that students learn in the first 2 months of playing the classical guitar. So again. And notice how in the beginning I could almost have a basic plant position. So open, A, hammer on, B flat, C sharp, E, play with the thumb, G played with the I finger, hammer on, B flat, C sharp played with M, and then E played with A. The second part of this run allows the thumb to transition. That open string allows the thumb to transition to the third string, and I'm playing A, B flat hammer on, C sharp with I, E with M. Then I'm transitioning to the higher position, G sharp, G natural, play with P, B flat played with I, C sharp played with M, and then E played with A. So it's a natural roll, P-I-M. This is a natural roll as well, P-I-M-A. And the final bar of this first segment of the tutorial is a D minor chord. So after this run, and I'm playing D and high E, play with the fourth finger on the 12th fret of the first string together simultaneously. And it's D and E, and then F, natural, A and D played with the first finger as a partial bar, pressing 3 out of the 6 strings on the 10th fret. Again, so okay, bar number 6 again. Here is the metronomic beat. Let's try it again. E, D minor chord, followed by open 5th string, A, and then back to that D minor suspended chord, that tardiness in actually resolving the chord, D, F, A, E together, then back to F, A, D, played simultaneously with I, M, A. The D note on the 4th string continues to ring out, and I'm playing just F and A, which is the 3rd and the 2nd strings, in staccato fashion. So and as you played those final 4 articulations, final 2 beats of the bar, make sure you play a staccato on the accompaniment. So the melody should ring but the accompaniment should be played in a staccato fashion to create space for that melody to linger. Okay, and that wraps up our first segment of the tutorial. These are bars 1 through 6. I'll see you back to the next section, starting with bar 7.